The fruit granted her wishes, but the fruit slipped from the tree and hit the ground just as Adra ran past it. She stopped abruptly, breath sharp in her throat, dust rising around her bare feet. Behind her, two village boys shouted insults, laughing as they chased her through the narrow path between mud huts. "Run faster, beggar girl! Maybe today you'll find food instead of shame." Adra clenched her fists and turned sharply into the forest, heart pounding, chest burning. She didn't slow down until the voices faded. Only then did she bend over, hands on her knees, gasping. That was when she noticed the fruit. It lay at her feet, unbroken, glowing faintly as though light breathed beneath its skin. Adra frowned. "What kind of fruit falls without rotting?" She nudged it with her toe. "Because I chose to fall." Adara screamed and stumbled backward, landing hard on the dirt. Her pulse thundered in her ears as she stared at the fruit. It blinked. Not metaphorically. Literally blinked. "Don't shout," the fruit said calmly. "You will attract attention." Adara scrambled to her feet, shaking. You spoke." "Yes, you're cursed," she whispered, "or in starving and hallucinating." "You are starving," the fruit replied, "but you are not hallucinating." She backed away. "I don't want trouble. I already have enough." "Then why are you crying every night?" the fruit asked softly. That stopped her. Adra swallowed. "You don't know me. I know your hunger. I know your anger. I know the way you whisper your mother's name when the darkness gets too loud." Her knees weakened. "How do you know my mother's?" she demanded. "I know what you are willing to give up for relief," the fruit said, "and that is why I chose you." She laughed nervously. "Chosen for what? For wishes?" Silence fell between them. Adara shook her head. "No. I've heard stories like this. They never end well." The fruit hummed. "Every story ends. The question is how much of yourself remains at the end." She turned to leave. "I grant wishes," the fruit continued. "Food, wealth, safety, power, anything." She hesitated. "And the cost?" she asked without turning. The fruit's glow dimmed slightly. "A memory. One happy memory per wish." Her throat tightened. "That's it, that's everything." She turned slowly. "You mean I forget one moment? Yes. Random." "No," the fruit said gently, "the most precious one." Her chest constricted. Her mother's smile flashed in her mind unbidden. Adara shook her head fiercely. "No, I can't." "Then go," the fruit replied. "You will still wake up hungry tomorrow." She took 3 steps away. Her stomach growled, sharp and painful. She remembered the empty pot at home, the way her neighbors avoided her, the way the boys laughed. She turned back. "One wish," she whispered. "Just one." The fruit brightened. "Speaks." "I want food," Adra said quickly. "Enough so I don't starve." The fruit pulsed once. Pain exploded behind her eyes. Adra cried out and dropped to her knees, clutching her head. Images blurred, twisted, then stopped. She gasped. The forest looked the same. Her body felt the same. She stood slowly. "That's it. Go home," the fruit said. "See." She ran. Her hut stood unchanged, but smoke rose from its roof. Adra pushed the door open. Her breath caught. The room was full. Bags of grain, fresh vegetables, bread, meat. She laughed, covering her mouth, tears spilling. "It worked, it worked." She spun and froze. On the wall hung a cloth her mother used to wear. Adara stared at it. Her chest tightened. Something was missing. She reached for the memory instinctively. Nothing came. Her hands trembled. "Why can't I?" Panic rose. She tried to remember her mother's face. Blank. Her voice cracked. "No, no, no, no." She staggered backward, hitting the wall. "What did you take?" The fruit's voice echoed faintly in her mind. "Your happiest memory." Adara slid to the floor, sobbing. "You said a memory, not everything." "You still know she existed," the fruit replied. "You simply cannot see her smile anymore." Grief crushed her, but hunger did not return. Days passed. Adara ate. Villagers noticed. Whispers spread. How did she suddenly survive? She must have stolen. She must have done something shameful. They still sneered, still mocked. The fullness in her belly did not fill the hollow in her chest. One night, she returned to the forest. The fruit waited. You came back, it said. I want them to respect me, Adara said bitterly. I want them to stop looking at me like dirt. The fruit paused. You understand the cost. She hesitated. She thought of laughter, of running freely as a child. She hardened her heart. Yes. The fruit pulsed again. This time the pain was deeper. She screamed. The next morning, villagers bowed. They offered gifts. They smiled nervously. Admiral watched them with a strange calm. But when a child laughed nearby, her chest tightened painfully. She could not remember joy, only its absence. If this story is already pulling you in, don't forget to like the video and subscribe, because what Admiral loses next will change everything. She returned again and again. Each wish brought more power. Each cost hollowed her further, until one night, staring into a reflection she barely recognized, Adara whispered, "What is my name?" The fruit was silent. Panic surged. "Answer me, you traded it," the fruit said at last. She collapsed, shaking. "I don't know who I am." "There is one wish left," the fruit said. "The greatest." She looked up slowly. "What happens if I make it?" "You will lose your last memory." Her voice was barely sound. "What memory is that?" The fruit glowed softly. "The one that makes you human." Tears streamed down her face. She laughed brokenly. "Then I won't be able to regret it, correct?" Silence stretched. Then Adara whispered, "I wish you would give back everything you took." The fruit screamed. Light shattered the forest. Adara felt memories crash into her like waves. Her mother's face, her laughter, her name, her joy. She sobbed, smiling through tears. When the light faded, the fruit lay split in two, dead. The village returned to its quiet poverty, but Adara remembered who she was. And that was enough. If this story moved you, comment what you would have wished for, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories that stay with you long after the video ends.